I'm Holden Douglas here at Crypto.com Arena, where the Kings are set to take on the Sharks. After losing their first back-to-back against the Maple Leafs, the Kings are looking to respond tonight against San Jose. While the Sharks are the worst team in the NHL, the Kings must execute. The first key to the game is that the Kings must be on point with their power plays. The Kings are bottom 5 in power plays, and they struggled immensely last night against Toronto. The Kings had 3 power play opportunities and failed to score once. Not only did the Kings fail to score on their power play, but they gave up a shorthanded goal. As bad as the Kings have been on their power plays, the San Jose Sharks is the perfect opponent for LA. The Sharks are one of the worst teams at penalty kills, and if the Kings were going to execute on their power plays, this would be the game. The second key to this game is the Kings must stop the young Sharks. Macklin Celebrini and William Eklund has been some of the best young players in the league. They are most of San Jose's production, and if the Kings are going to win this game, they must slow these guys down. The Sharks won't have anyone else to turn to if these two guys are struggling. And the third and the final key in this game is that the Kings must get early shots. The Kings have played very slow tempo for a lot of this season, but in a team against San Jose, who is desperate for wins, the Kings, they must attack early. The Sharks are really bad at goaltending, and if the Kings are going to control this game, they have to get shots early, and they will likely score. Alex Laferriere will be out this game, and Coach Hiller will give the rest of the updates on tonight's game.
You gonna ask me about the refereeing? Is that how you're gonna start?
Did you read what I wrote?
No. What did you write?
You want to expand on last night?
No. No. That's over. Start fresh.
Any lineup changes?
There's going to be, yes, 11 and 7. Mark it down. Yeah. Movari will come in. Laferriere will be out.
Injury?
No. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Not feeling great. That's all. Yeah. So
not a coach's decision?
Not a coach's decision, no. I would be really dumb.
Yeah.
I'd like to see your next story if I scratched him. I would read that one. No, go ahead.
How tough is it to lose him? Because it feels like he gets the goal, but
Yeah.
his level of play hadn't really dipped
Yeah.
going into the goal. It felt like he had kind of kept things pretty consistent with the chances, so that even tougher loss coming off and time to get money though.
Yeah, he's becoming what we call, often a lot of coaches, they have different words for it. We call it a dependable. You know what you're getting most nights. He's going to check. He's going to finish checks. He's going to get pucks out. He's going to bring some offensive opportunities. And, he's working into that type of a player for us, which is a pretty good compliment.
That's been literally from day one with him,
Yeah,
too. I mean, even last year and winning the job. And
Yeah.
is there a mindset that you see with him?
Yeah,
To
he's
enter this league and to kind of become that.
right. And I think what we saw last year was he didn't really fall off. Which a lot of young players, college players especially, will fall off in the second half, only natural to do. He didn't. I know going back to the Edmonton series, I think he led that series in hits and physicality. And, I think he's just really carving out a spot for himself within the organization. I think it's not just me. I think everybody appreciates how hard he plays, how consistent he plays, the type of person he is. As a young player, he looks to me as somebody that's going to, be one of those guys that's counted upon here for a long time.
What do you want to see out of Moverari in that, obviously, and maybe for some obvious reasons, is his playing time has been spotty after obviously, the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Being in the lineup just about every night.
Played well and really was not a situation where we were unhappy with him, and that's why he came out, and that's why he's been out. We wanted to get Spence and Clark, basically, those two in there running with some regular minutes. So that's been the decision there, but it wasn't at all that Moverari hadn't been playing well. It happened to have probably his poorest game of the year was his last game, but it wasn't based on one game for him, for sure. He's done a terrific job. So we want to get him. We want to just get. I don't know how much he'll play tonight, but just get in, let him know, that he's still an important part, and we're going to need him before it's over here.
I don't know how often you've coached a 6 and 9, but pretty grueling, especially at the NHL level. How do you feel the team has kind of managed what's, to me at least, felt like a pretty unusual stretch at the end of the month?
Yeah, well, the Colorado game we had no energy. So we got Mike and Cassie here who can let us know all about that. We had no energy But outside of that, I thought we've had lots of energy. The game last night was a really good hockey team. I thought that was two teams playing, playoff style. I think it gets overused, but that was tight, and they were the same way. And they had a couple guys that broke it open for them at the end. So I had no issues with the way we played last night, and I want to have that same energy tonight, though, the same mentality. I'm not worried about the energy. I'm worried about the mentality. That's my concern.
Played San Jose 3 times in like the first couple weeks of the season, and for a while you kind of pointed to that last meeting as maybe a turning point. Do you still feel that way for that November game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. That we had to answer some questions, and I think we answered those questions. So, whatever you want to take with that, wherever you want to go with that, you go with that. But that was a game where, we had some questions to be answered. I think we played Winnipeg at home the next game, and maybe played one of our best games of the year. Yeah.
Jim, just to clarify on laugh, under the weather or something else?
Yeah, just not feeling great. Just not feeling great.
Going back to Ritter tonight?
Yes. Yeah. You got your goalie question in, eh? Man, this guy beat me down, huh? Over a year, and he's finally getting me.
Game 73.
Mm-hmm. Okay? Okay.
Now that we've heard from Coach Hiller, the fans are getting ready for a rivalry game. The game will be electric. This is a must-need win for the Kings. They need to end their 2-game losing streak. The Kings will set to take on ice, and we'll see if they could come out with the victory. The Kings took a bite out of the Sharks in a convincing 8-1 victory. The Kings delivered on all 3 keys to victory. The first thing the Kings did is they attacked early. They got out to a 2-goal lead, and this set the momentum for the offense. They eventually finished with 8 goals, but that early start is what gave them the complete momentum. And then the Kings scored 2 power play goals. They had 5 opportunities and were able to deliver on 2 of them, which is something the Kings have struggled this entire season. And then the last thing the Kings did extremely well is they shut down Celebrini and Eklund. Eklund and Celebrini only had 3 shots on goals, and they missed 7 shots. There were a lot of players we could say played well for the Kings, but Adrian Kempe and Vladislav Gavrikov had 2 goals and 2 assists together. We got to hear what both players and the coach said about the win.
Kuzi, I think. He made a pass through 3 guys, I would say. I was kind of waiting the pass from him, but I knew it could be tough, but he found a way that was pretty sick.
What has he kind of brought to this team since coming? Obviously, you knew him better than most. His skill just seems to really fit, Kopi and Juice and what you guys do in the power play.
Yeah, he can make a plays. He pretty fast, pretty good in the corners too. If you playing 1-on-1, it's hard to play against him. I think, they were pretty good with Kopi and Juice, as you mentioned. He still can be better, and he's doing better right now. You saw his shot, so he's I think he can shoot more, he can score more, but he right now worry about just passing play, but he's pretty good at that too. So I think he'll be better for sure. He's getting that day by day.
What's it like just to be in a game, 8 goals? You don't get that very often throughout a season, just having it like you did.
Yeah, the last week we had 7 goals twice, but yeah, it's pretty unique, I would say. It's hard league to score the goals, I would say, but it's nice to guys find those opportunity to score a couple and feel confident.
How important was the mentality tonight? There have been some games this year against the teams at the bottom of the standings that haven't gone your way. How nice was it to come out and just do what you guys can do and put a game away like that?
Yeah, we probably kept going from the last night too, so try to keep the same mentality. Sharks is a hard team to play against, young team. They're fast, but special teams were pretty good for us. And Dave made a couple good saves too, so it's altogether I would say it's gave us that kind of game.
Yes, the franchise record for home wins is still 5 or 6 home games left. First of all, your thoughts on being that successful at home, and then secondly, how much of that do you think transfers into the playoffs when the travel evens out, there are no backup goalies, the other kind of circumstantial stuff from the other 2 games, I guess?
Well, you always want to start at home playoffs, right? So it's that's got to be huge for us. That's our goal, I would say, for the rest of the way. Our fans helping us a lot, so that would be nice to have a home ice advantage for a start. But we'll see. We'll have a few more games, so we'll see how it's going to be.
Why do you think you all have been so dominant, so good in this building this year?
It's all together, I would say. It's always good to be home. Fans are good, like good vibes here, and means a lot for us to play here. Really appreciate that opportunity to play in front of our fans. And yeah, as I mentioned before, gotta earn the play at home for the start of the playoffs. Thank you, guys.
Your sequence of 2 passes leading to 1 of your goals, and then those 2 on your second.
No, that was pretty cool. It was a great play by Larry and Makarov, coming in there. It was a hell of a play by those 2 guys. So yeah, open that, didn't have to do much there. So great play by them.
As a team, probably goes without saying, but how big was it to not let 2 losses become 3 and to kind of clamp down and win the way that you guys did today?
Yeah, it was important. I think we, built on obviously the loss yesterday, where we obviously frustrated with not winning that game. I think we played good enough to win, but I think came back tonight and wanted the revenge and wanted to keep playing that way. I think we did, and maybe not playing a playoff team, but I think we showed up and showed good character throughout the 60 minutes, which was fun to watch.
There have been times this season where the non-playoff teams maybe giving you guys even more trouble than the playoff teams. Is it good to just kind of put a team away the way that you guys did that was where they are in the season?
Yeah, I think it was good, and especially coming down to the end of the season here, 9 or 10 games or whatever we have left. This doesn't matter who we play here. We have to show up every day and do the things that we have to build on for the future and for the playoffs, and do it on a consistent basis. So I think over the last couple of weeks here we've done that for the most part. So I think it's important that we come and show up every night. Obviously a lot of games and not a lot of breaks. So I think we've been doing a really good job with consistency.
Kobe 3 assists tonight, two really highlight reel ones. Just your thoughts on his game and what it would mean to get him rolling, maybe like he was early in the season down the stretch here.
Yeah, I mean, important, especially for our line as well. Have had a lot of different guys on our line throughout the season. Now we got Kuz. I think it started to build some chemistry there. Feels better and better throughout every game. I think obviously it's important to get your goals, and I think we've been feeling like we've been there over the last couple of games, which I think is important for the confidence. But tonight obviously with some great plays that Kobe he always makes those. I just got to put him in the net. So it's good for the confidence, and I think confidence is going to be important moving forward for sure.
What's it like to score 8 in a game? That's an awful lot of goals. You don't get many of those in a season.
No, we had 2 7s previously. So I mean, we've had a couple of games where we score a lot, and then it's I mean it's hard to say why, but I mean I think we've done a good job creating chances. And sometimes the puck goes in a lot for you, which is important for throughout the lineup that you can get goals from everybody.
Second time in 4 games you guys scored 2 power play goals. I mean, how nice is it to kind of be getting maybe the contributions now that just weren't there earlier in the year from the Minutemen?
Yeah, good. Like for everybody that's out there, we have both units scoring. It's really important going into the playoffs having a good power play. I think we were getting a lot more looks now than we did in the previously in the season as well, which kind of builds confidence. And maybe you're not going to score on all of them, but you create momentum for the team, you create momentum for the next time you go out there as a power play unit. Which I think we've been doing a good job with that as well.
What gets lost in this is you only gave up 1. That's a pretty good goaltending at any level. Thoughts about how he played? He doesn't get as much action as Darcy.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been winning us games, on the road or at home whenever he plays. So, I mean, it's a tough game coming in for him as well. And having a team that's not in the playoff hunt, but they have a lot of skill, and they have nothing to lose when they go out and play every night. So I think we did a really good job of that. But Ritter, he's been playing really good when he's playing. So it's important to have 2 goals that can do that.
This was your 6th game in 9 nights. I know you guys were happy with the Toronto game, but when you look at the overall 4-2 mark, are you satisfied with that? It's obviously a very tough stretch of the schedule.
Yeah, it's been a lot of we talked about it. It's hard, especially when a lot of back-to-backs. You don't have that much practice time, all that kind of stuff. So it's obviously hard physically, mentally. But we have a lot of home games. Feel confident coming in here, and been doing a good job with managing every line, I think, and the time on ice and all that kind of stuff. So I think everybody's still feeling pretty good. So yeah, we'll keep it rolling.
You hit the 30-goal mark again. That's 3 of the last 4 seasons. Now that you've sort of established yourself as an elite scorer, what does it mean to be able to do it again and again and not just kind of have a a one-off season here and there?
Yeah, I mean, important. Obviously, you get expectations before every season. So I mean, for myself, I set them pretty early. Obviously, I'd like to score as much as I can. 30-goal mark is a good, it's a good goal to have before every season. Obviously, I think if I kept going on the pace I had earlier in the season, it would have been a lot more. But now we're here. It's a good time to get hot before playoffs. Cool.
Thank you. Thanks, Juice.
The Kings won in a dominating 8-1 fashion. Although the Sharks are the worst team in the league, the Kings did what they were supposed to. Now LA will be going up against a tougher challenge in Winnipeg, who is the best team in the Western Conference. The Jets are a very tough challenge, but if the Kings start off early like how they did against the Sharks, then the Kings can definitely defeat the Jets. Reporting from Crypto.com Arena, I'm Holden Douglas with Infanity TV.